Welcome, everybody, to Synapse Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Haig John, and I have gotten, we're on page 749 in D.D. Palmer's 1910 book, The Chiropractor's Adjuster. And we're at a point right now where D.D.'s doing some teaching and got some other things going on, and Alan Lecter, he has gone and outlined quite a bit from the next few pages and highlighted the big points of philosophy and the messages D.D. Palmer is getting across to us. So today we're giving Alan the reins and going through some of the highlights, and I'm excited to see what's going on in the Bearded Wonder's brain. And Kayline, I'm so happy you're here, and I wanted to say hi to you, and good luck in your studying. How far along are you right now?
My name's Keeleen.
Keeleen, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. I'm at Sherman College, and I'm in seventh quarter now.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. At what college?
Sherman.
Sherman. Yeah. I just wanted to hear it. Awesome. At Sherman.
Sherman, the best school.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
I started at Sherman. I transferred to Life because I couldn't get into the District of Columbia or Maryland from Sherman at that time. And so I graduated. I went to Life for graduation, but oh my gosh, I had Tom and Betty Gilardi as instructors.
That's amazing. I met them finally this year, like in person, one-on-one, and that was a really cool experience to get to talk to them. And
I learned my first toggle and touch. Well, Betty taught second quarter toggle.
Oh my gosh, that's
awesome.
So cool.
We had 2 quarters of toggle too, and 2 quarters of Grostic. It was awesome. I love upper cervical. I do a lot of upper cervical work. Well, let's get started. How about that? If you've got a study, I know you're going to listen in, and thank you very much, Alan. Why don't we get started? You want to read?
Alrighty.
At the beginning of this part, adjusting. It's page 749. D.D. is just, he's quoting other chiropractors. He's contradicting and educating. Some of this stuff is, it's just, we need to just skip over. So, Alan, where do you see our next path?
Well, actually, I went to the bottom is 750, and he just says there, chiropractic is a science, not a building. I'm having to get my light right here because I'm using a different light. It was created, not built. Its foundation is not that of principles. It is founded on anatomy, it says osteology is what it says. Osteology, neurology, and function. It is not built out of principles as a mason would build a house out of brick. Chiropractic is a science, a knowledge of health and disease reduced to law and embodied into a system.
There's a typo in this one. That's the one that flubbed you up. I just wondered if it's like in the original. If anybody, I've never touched one of those early ones, but I wonder if it's in the original. Chiropractic is a science. It's not a building. It's not, that it was created. He built it. It was a message and a spiritual download and, brought to humanity by D.D. Palmer.
The science and knowledge of health and disease reduced to law and embodied into a system. And I just liked it. So from there, I go to page 753, down towards the bottom of the page.
Now, I'm just saying, I'm making a note for myself where D.D. says chiropractic is, okay? This is the quote from D.D. Palmer. I mean, chiropractic is, okay? That's an important, 3 words, 2 words. And so I've just marked it, made a note for myself because, this is from our father of chiropractic. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Alan.
I like your new background, by the way.
Thank you.
The families first.
Yeah. Save the babies.
Right, so I'm on 753 now. We skip ahead a little bit, but near the bottom of the page, he says, chiropractors do not use drugs, water, heat, or electricity in adjusting the cause of diseases. They do not rub or manipulate. They adjust the bony framework similarly as a jeweler does a watch.
Okay.
And I think that is so important to be reminded of.
I'm making another note on a
today.
Post-it note right now. Chiropractors do not manipulate. Okay.
But we don't use drugs, water, heat, or electricity. I mean, that is so poignant in today's chiropractic world to hear him say
And
that.
in what didn't he say that? And in the treatment of symptoms,
in adjusting the cause of diseases. So, and the cause of diseases is subluxation. And if when you're working on adjusting the cause of disease, none of those have a part in it.
Similarly, as a jeweler does a watch, right?
Yeah.
You know, back then that's the height of technology is a beautifully made watch, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, as a jeweler, you know, meticulously and, you know, refine an amazing adjustment, just like the master jeweler would do, right?
Well, you had to, and watches and clocks had to be tuned to make sure they kept time properly.
Often.
You know,
that was a professional's job.
Yes. So,
okay.
Should I go on here?
Yeah.
We possess two intelligences, innate and educated. Innate runs all the vital functions while we are asleep or awake. This intelligence, which we are born with, knows how to run the functions of the body 100 times better than educated. It remains for educated intelligence to be able to keep, fix, adjust the skeletal frame so that innate can use it as a means of communication in such a manner as desired.
What is innate? He's telling us this is the duality of man and woman.
It is. It's innate, runs all the vital functions, and educated's job is to take the information from innate to keep the body to manipulate the spine, if you will, and so that interference can be removed.
Well, this is a perfect definition to give a patient, right? Because we also try and be practical when we talk about these things in philosophy and all that. We want to be practical. What are we going to do in practice? And educating, like I always tell the story about Herbert Ross Reaver, and I think it was Sigafus. They were doing a interview at a college it's on YouTube. And, you know, he said, you're 90 something years old, you're a Chirosaurus or whatever, and you're still adjusting people. Why are you still going to the office? Because every day I have a chance to teach people about innate, not about subluxations. You know, it is about how amazing you are. Whoa. Okay. I think that's pretty incredible. And that's what the guys were and women were taught before us.
That's right.
Not, you know, well-educated in anatomy and physiology, they learned from the best, but they also learned about spirit and innate and how important that is. And that runs the show.
The innate intelligence we're born with knows how to run the functions of the body 100 times better than educated. That's what he says.
100 times.
Educated is the assistant here.
Educated is the one that gets in the way, right? Educated gets in the way because
at times it does.
We
Yes,
want to
indeed.
hurry it up. That's where now making this practical, of course, to people that listen to it. We have a lot of people that listen to this and they're not chiropractors. And I have some of my patients listening to it, and I call them people, not necessarily patients, but, you know, understanding that.
Practice members.
Well, we don't have a membership practice. So we just
but
call people.
They're members of your practice. They come in.
Of course. But wouldn't you rather be a person and be known as a human, right? That's what Pasquale actually taught me. Is like, people are people.
But members belong to a group.
I love it. Absolutely. I love that too, for sure. All right. The amazingness of Alan's beard is going to come up to our next short soliloquy.
There is just for reference sake, is I can show up. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a beautiful picture of spines here in the book that just doesn't. It's a
D.D. Palmer had the largest osteological collection in the world, and especially of the vertebral column. And I think part of his collection is in the Smithsonian right now on
I
display.
don't think I knew that. And BJ expanded on that collection.
Sure. Oh my gosh, BJ's was absolutely amazing. Maybe it's BJ. Well, if it's BJ's, it's partly DD's as well.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, where are you taking this next in your
So
outline?
the next section is called symptomatology and semiology. I'm not even sure what semiology is,
I'm not
but
certain either.
that's on 755, about
Yeah.
halfway down that page. The science of chiropractic is founded on quite different lines from that of medicine and any system of therapeutics. The chiropractor determines the nature of disease in a manner quite different from the other methods. Disease viewed from the standpoint of the chiropractor is of an entirely different nature from that accorded to it by the system of therapies. I have to get a different light here. Give me 1 second.
Well, I just wrote down immediately, okay, this is what Dee talking about, the science of chiropractic. There's the next one. You know, this, when we want to look at references, people want references now. And the fact that we're
Right.
breaking this down, reading this, and 90% of the chiropractors, maybe even a larger, maybe 99% of the chiropractors living right now have not read D.D. Palmer's 1910 book to page 755.
That's right.
So we're making this into history right now. You know, we have nearly 20,000 subscribers that are going to listen to this philosophy. And I say, you know, this might be going out to the universe, learning about D.D. Palmer. We might be changing the entire universe with one adjustment.
I'll avoid. We should live so long. The physician's diagnosis and prognosis are made for the purpose of determining beforehand the progress and outcome of disease, as they expect diseases to have their usual run. Therefore, they desire to classify not for the purpose of cutting short the duration of disease, but that they may know in advance how long they can hold their job. Chiropractor's analysis is made for the purpose of locating the cause of trouble so that he can adjust the displaced portion of the bony framework, which by its impingement on nerves and muscles is creating disease. While the physician and the chiropractor both use the subjective and objective signs, it is for quite different purpose, the former for future need, the latter for present benefit. I think that is just so deep right there that it just draws the line, and it addresses, again, one of the things that's been misconstrued by a lot of latter-day chiropractors as far as why they're taught all that diagnosis and anatomy. That's not in chiropractic school. We learned that's so you can see it. You need to know what's going on, but your job is to find the interference that's allowing that to happen and remove it so the body can heal.
It's not the treatment. Treatment is for the sickness, right? That's what that word is for. It's for the disease. We don't treat the disease. We help the person be stronger so that innate intelligence can do its absolute job.
Latter for the present it's the former, the doctors, for future need, the latter for the chiropractors for present benefit. People are immediately healthier as soon as we are able to assist in removing the subluxation.
That is such a big point, whether you know it or not. Like Dr. Sid said with the keys, you know, whether you believe in gravity or not, it's there. When you're clear of a subluxation, vertebra properly adjusted, clear of a subluxation, you function better. I can feel the difference in my creative skills, cognitive skills. I tell you, my wife will tell you I'm less grouchy when I get adjusted, when I'm clear. I know it for a fact because I've experienced it in my own body, right? Period. And it's not, I guess, all the practices in the world and all the anecdotal, they call it. But I think that's more important than what other kind of research can you have, but than real people living real lives, having real outcomes of better function, right? And, sometimes I'm sure you've said it to your patients in the past, your people, practice members, that, you know what, sometimes healing isn't easy. We're going to go through it. Sometimes your body's got to, you feel like you're getting worse as you're actually getting better.
Sometimes your body expresses symptoms in the process in a healing process.
Yeah. If you've ever had a surgery, you think you're not going to jump off the table and, run a marathon. You've got months of healing. And if you think about it, the same things happening from the inside out. Go ahead.
Think about this. It's summertime and there's mosquitoes. What happens when the mosquito bites you? You get a little bump and it itches, but that's your body reacting to a toxin and working on breaking it down and being healthy. It's a healthy response to the, when you cut yourself and it gets inflamed, the inflammation is a normal, healthy response. It's not something you want to stop. The inflammation is the microbes live in a natural in a temperature range that's normal for human beings, and you raise the temperature and it kills them.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
And they
raise
don't
it much
reproduce.
for those guys. And that's normal health. And we try to block those things, and it's not, and it interferes with the healing process.
We are really I'm in the process. I've done the research, and we're writing the definitive guide to fevers. Okay. We're writing a book about fever right now. We've just written a book about birth
Got the
trauma and the
fever.
role of chiropractic care, because this birth trauma, we're talking about if we could get in the first hour, could you imagine the first hour of life of after birth, if we could have chiropractors on call in a hospital to adjust newborns? Oh my gosh, we would save the lives of millions of children. And I know that to be true. Absolutely. So I have a shameless plug because we are going to
Go.
be at Life University uh, at, let me see, innate newborn adjusting and subluxation analysis, October 25th on Saturday. We're going to have a philosophy night on Friday as well. So that's October 24th and 5th at Life University. And it's going to be on campus. It's sponsored by Life University. I'm really stoked. I'm so happy. I love supporting Life University. We got to get to Sherman too. I
Do we
miss
have a
Sherman.
flyer
Had a
for
message
that?
with Dr. Borla today, and so we just talked a little bit about that. And then I'm going to be at New Beginnings on the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. I can't wait for that weekend. I'm bringing my whole family to New Beginnings. We already have our hotels booked and air flights. So our airline tickets have been booked. So I'm really excited about that. All right, let's get on with it.
Question for you. Do you have a flyer for the innate adjusting at life in October?
I don't have a flyer yet.
Okay, I'll wait for it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm writing down on my notes. I'm writing notes in this book. I should be writing notes for things myself. Flyer. We got to get that one out ASAP. It's time. Thank you for that. And
Thank
I'll
you.
message you. Thanks for distributing it a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, Alan, where are we going next?
I just like this little quote here about 3/4 of the way down the page on 756. It says, here's a problem. If one person who is exposed to smallpox contracts it, thereby proving it is contagious, does not the fact that those who do not take it disprove the contagion theory? If you get exposed and don't get sick, doesn't that disprove contagion theory? I just like the thought of that process there.
I like that. Contagion theory. I'm going to put that in here too. What I really want, and I think we have some of our chiropractic philosophers and writers and researchers doing this, and I know they're doing it with the 1906 book, separating DD and BJ. I would love to do separating DD's stuff out of here so it's less confusing, because It's the chiropractor's adjuster. So other chiropractors are writing is like, no, that is not the way that is absolutely incorrect. This is the right way, right? He's adjusting us back to true north. But so misquoted in chiropractic. They always everyone quotes the incorrect stuff than the corrected stuff in DD. So to take that all out, I think would be absolutely amazing. So I'm making notes. Whether I get to that in my lifetime, maybe this lifetime or the next, we get it done. All right, Alan, where are we next?
I'm going to skip over to 759.
Oh, Tree versus Man. I haven't read this.
Now, I wasn't going to read the whole thing. I was going to skip to the bottom of the page. If you want me to just start at the beginning and read it.
No, let's skip to your parts. I want to stick to that today because we are getting a lot of really good stuff today.
All right. So at the bottom of 759.
Yeah.
The reader may think the principles are not taught at PSC. Please turn the inside cover of the Chiropractor and find, quote, health is restored by completing the mental and physical circuit, restoring the currents to replace the full quota of positive, permitting the reconveyance of the intelligent immateriality, to reestablish equilibrium for the purpose of all normal currents through nerves that are formerly not permitted to be transmitted through impingement, but have now assumed their normal size and capacity for conduction. Health is restored by completing the mental and physical circuit, restoring the currents to replace the full quota of positive, permitting the reconveyance of the intelligent immateriality. In other words, removing the interference, you're removing the interference to the conveyance of intelligent immateriality. That's the mental impulse he's talking about there.
And it goes on to the next page, 760. He's continuing that, but I just want to make sure what he's quoting is
the Chiropractor.
The
book, The Chiropractor.
Okay, so he's the 1914. No, this is 1910. So what is he exactly quoting? Taught the reader inside the cover, the Chiropractor, and find. Maybe he was already working on that. I got to ask Simon Sensen about that. Simon. I like coming up with intellectual questions for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, on page 759, Dee says he quotes the Chiropractor. That's a 1914 book. This is 1910. He'd be like, oh, yeah, he was talking about this there. Right. I'm like, he's like that. He is just amazing.
Yeah, he is the encyclopedia here. He's got that knowledge of all these books.
So I'm gonna. That's a good one. So I made a note to do that one.
I didn't glom onto that, if you will, as I read it, but I just assumed, oh yeah, the Chiropractor. Okay.
Well, that's why we discuss these things. We're together talking about it. Reading it on your own is not easy. It's not, right?
No,
we read ahead. You do a lot of good work. I do a lot of reading in here, but it's like plugging along when you're by yourself. This way you get so much more.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely, it's so good to discuss this stuff and bring out other thoughts and have other opinions brought to it. And, and it's like, some of this stuff is a slog. I'm more than willing to say that. That's why we're skipping. I literally have skip written on some of these pages in pencil so that we don't say that we don't need to go back there. All
right, let's read that next part. And on 760, I'll read this one. I'm going to read this one.
Go ahead.
I have in many places in the Chiropractor and Adjuster stated that disease is the result of too much or not enough functioning. In all pathological derangements, there is an exhibited or surplus of heat as a prime factor. Heat and the performance of functions are increased primarily. After the crisis, functions may be performed with less frequency and energy, may fall below normal, but even this condition is not because the function is shut off, but because of softening of nerve tissue. Free the nerve from impingement, and innate will restore function to normal activity.
That's the line I have marked there.
Yeah.
Free the nerve from impingement, and innate will restore function to normal activity.
Innate will restore. Awesome. Well, I think this is a good stopping point about here. Okay. And why don't we pick up? We'll talk about this some more. We'll do some a little bit of reading and start going from about this spot. What do you think, Alan?
That's okay.
Okay. All right. Well,
Good, because we're almost caught up to me. I've got to get reading ahead again.
I know. Hey, we're the last quarter of this book. I mean,
I'm
it's incredible.
I'm up to 768, and 3/4 of that page I have highlighted. But
Oh, good.
But yeah, I'll get some more reading done over the next week.
And we will have a flyer ready for Innate Newborn in Atlanta. And this would be a lot more of a hands-on. We're going to have a little bit of a level 1, but we're going to do a lot of level 2, which we didn't have a chance to do much at Sherman. But get ready for it.
Very excited.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Bless you. Have a
Hopefully we'll have some more of
fantastic
our
night.
regulars next week.
Yeah. Well, I've taken this summer off, hanging out with my kids, having a blast all summer. I even worked half time. It was a lot of fun. So now we're back. And I was doing my other podcast. So go to the New Beginnings page, and we post a lot of and on my page, all the interviews. It's Innate Interviews on YouTube and Spotify. All right. Bless you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good evening.